Hello everyone, I'm Havoc and this is Dyson Sphere Program. We are back at it again in this episode, picking up where we left off, and we are going to continue to process resources into more developed products. So here we have our iron, copper, and our magnets all stored individually in their own storages, and we are going to combine products in order to make more advanced products. Specifically, I want to look at what we're going to need to move forward into researches. So we need to make magnetic coils, we need to make circuit boards, and these items are all made in the assembly machine. So we're going to need a few more of those. Let's make just a few. Because I would like to get the production lines running very soon. And I need to think about the space that I'm taking up as well for these items. So let's go ahead and get some conveyor belts down and start unloading onto them. Now I'm using 3 sorters to make sure that the belt gets a lot of output put onto it. We're essentially using the storages as a buffer. So the input goes in on one side, the output goes on the other, but we're at the mercy of the speed of these sorters for outputting resources. And these regular sorters, it says 1.5 trips per second per grid. So I think this counts as 2 grids. So you're getting less than a trip a second, or is this only 1 grid? I'm not sure exactly if it counts the attachment to the machine, because these can stretch out further. This may be 1 grid's worth, and then if you stretch it out to more, say if I had a conveyor belt that was here, I could have run that sorter all the way out to here, but it would take much longer for it to carry a block all the way over to here and then go back to get another one. So that's where the speed comes in to play. Now, the very next thing I want to do is take the magnets and add copper to them in order to make a product. And I've got, let's see, this is going to be the magnetic coils. I have magnets and copper being made. We just need a convenient place. I don't know of anything else that uses the magnets, so we're only going to need them to be turned into the magnetic coils. So I think what we're going to do is come over here and run us a line. Let's not do a super long one yet till we figured out where we're going to go with this. I definitely want to go ahead and get the conveyor down and running. Oh, that's weird. Why is that going off at a strange angle? Weird. That's alright though. So what I want to do here is put the builder down where I can. So this is right here. There's not enough support on the ground. So what I'm going to do is probably set this here and see if I can put a storage beside this after I make one. And I'm going to need a few more sorters. Alright, so can I place a storage right beside it and then simply move right into it? You sure can. Okay, so this is going to make for me the magnetic coils. All I need to do is get copper over here. Now I can do that in an interesting little way, I think. I'm going to run the iron out here, and then I need to run some copper back this way and over to here. And then I'm going to try something. And that is to simply pass the copper to this belt like that. That works. Okay, good. So I can take off of this belt and move over here. I don't need this to be super fast right now. I just need it running. And we don't want to store too many of these either. All right. So we need probably an extra sorter inputting these. That way we can keep up with the speed. And then I can always, because this is moving slow, it's got a further bit to travel. We can put a second one here and take 2 off at once. And I think that's probably more than what this thing can handle. We're going to see. Yeah, it should immediately start backing up over here until it reaches the point where we can't do anymore. So we're you know, stealing off of that line. Later there'll be splitters and stuff, but right now we're just going to do it this way because I don't need a whole ton of these. I just need some. And that's running. It says it's going to make 45 a minute. Why does it stop? Oh, because we're not moving out fast enough. That's fine. Now we should be able to keep up with the output of this machine. Wow, we need a third one. That's funny. I guess because, is this counted as a 2-block grid? There we go. Now the machine can run at full speed, which is 45 a minute. And I'm pretty sure we can keep up with that. Only one of our output sorters is running right now for this, and we may take away the extra ones. Just leave the 2. I don't know why that one was doing a weird shape. I guess actually it's probably because the planet is a sphere. It's not perfectly flat. So every so often you're going to have these weird little offsets as it's adjusting for the roundness of the planet. So I think is what happened there. But now we've got these magnetic coils, and that's a really good help on getting us towards making what we need. And you know what, for that matter, we could set up the production of these circuits. All they take are iron and copper. But see, now looking at this, it takes 2 iron and 1 copper. So it would be inefficient to have it reach over for what it needs more of. So can I can't put it in here though. I was trying to think of space saving ideas, but I think the best idea is to simply come out here. We already know that conveyor is going the other direction. So what we can do is stretch this out. We know that it requires more iron than it does copper. So we can make more sorters, of course. And we're also going to need power here. And we're probably going to start needing more power production. I'll have to check that momentarily. But I think if I do it like this, where I am putting 2 iron in and then 1 copper, it should function. Pretty rapidly. So let's see. So because it's reaching over for the copper, even though I need less copper, it is slower. I mean, it still runs almost perfectly, so we're not going to sweat it too much. We will put a storage down right here and then empty into it. And again, restrict the amount that it'll hold. Let's see. Do we need 3? We need all 3 exporting into this. Okay. So now we're looking okay. It's moving and grooving. But you see the power supply, insufficient power supply keeps spiking every so often. So if I watch this, you'll see the satisfaction is fine, and every so often we hit just a little bit too much consumption. So I am gonna try and sneak some more of these wind turbines along the coast to help with that. Make sure we're not hitting that peak point anymore. Whoops. And we're gonna make a few more of them because I am going to be building more machines, and as I build more machines, the power supply, the power demand grows, and the power supply that we have is not going quite as far. Just do these down the coast. Alright. It's looking much better. We are so slow. But now we have a couple more things automated. What I would also like to get automated is going to be the gears. These right here, they just take iron to automate as well. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We're running out of space, so we're going to need to alter our belts just a little bit. And I'm kind of creating a bus running in this direction. I don't know if that's the best way. There's not a whole lot of space here, but luckily I think you can use the vertical build direction as well. I'm trying to think of how to say that and just sounding terrible, but you can build up. I'm not sure what all items can be stacked on one another, but I do know certain buildings can be built on top of one another. Later on, when you get into fluid storage, I know that the fluid storage can stack, your labs can stack. I bet these storages can stack. They sure can. See, it, let me collect this rock right here, and then I'll go show you. So you see, it just plops right on top, and that'll probably just add more to the storage, which I don't need that much storage of these, so I'm not going to worry about that for these items. But that's okay. What I want to do is automate the gears and probably take out of this. I should have left a little bit of room. I can do it like this and then come out from there, because I am going to want to move these little items because we're going to need them in order to make other items. Let's go look at the tech tree. I believe, let's research the electromagnetic matrix, and you can see already these are going to come in handy in my manual researching out of my pocket right now. But also, I'm pretty sure they are part of the recipe for making the electromagnetic matrices we need to research. And we're also going to need to move these electromagnets down the line as well. But as I continue to automate items, there's less crafting of the base components in my inventory. Alright, we have unlocked the matrices. So if I come into here, you can see, yes, it takes one of the electronic magnets and one of the circuit board, one circuit board and one magnetic coil in order to make an electromagnetic matrix. So we are going to need these items on the line. And then I'm going to want to make gears right here. And I should probably be thinking about expansion as well. I don't even know if I need that many. I probably only needed 2. And I don't want to be wasteful. Whoops. I was going to say, I don't want to be wasteful right now with things that cost power because I don't have a great power source. The wind turbines are okay, but you can make better power sources later on. So yes, that's fine. 2 is more than enough to supply this. We're going to do the same thing where we are just immediately storing. The angles on this sometimes get me. There we go. Immediately storing these gears. But I think something that I can do with this being right here is I can automate the production of our belt. Because I'm fairly certain the belts require gears and more iron plate. So we are going to run the iron plate more and then make a few more sorters, because I'm going to grab from the storage that's just right here. So we're going to go from there to there, and we're going to grab from the iron. Now it takes what? Looks like more iron. It takes 2 iron a second. So we're going to do that. And place the one storage right here. And this one I don't want to have as many. I'm going to need a lot of belt, but I don't want to consume all of my resources into belt. This produces 3 every tick, so I'm probably going to need all 3 of the sorters as well. That should empty this thing as quickly as it makes. Let's see. Maybe not. It's going to build up a little bit. Oh, and we're having the power spikes again. Okay. What does it say doesn't have power? Ah. I see what's going on here. I'll figure it out in just a minute. Don't you worry, guys. That sorter didn't have power. So it should keep up or reduce how much is being held in here. Let's see. Yeah, so it looks like we can keep up. That's fine. But now I don't have to keep pocket crafting this belt. Another thing that I would really like to get made are the sorters. And they take electronic circuits and more iron. So we're going to work our way down here. Here are our electronic circuits. Now we need to keep in mind we're going to have to take these ingredients out as well. And then I could probably keep going this way because I'm going to need to be able to pass them over the belts. Or I could just run these belts further out. It really depends on what I need to go where. So what do I need with these circuits? I need these circuits and some of the iron in order to make the sorters. I think what I'll probably do is make a few more storages. I also need to find stone. I've been just using stone that I'm grabbing, but I need to find some. And there's a research that'll really help with that, so I would like to get the research automated. And I can already do that with some of the items that I have there. I just need to clear some space for where I'm going to build and be mindful not to be wasteful. We're going to collect the resources in the area that I'm going to build in. Because like I said, I think when you pop a building down, it just deletes what's there and you don't get the resources from whatever is removed. And we don't want to be wasteful with the plant material. I'm not sure if there is a use for it other than fuel for my mech. But just in case there is, I'm going to gather it. And I can always put a storage down and throw this stuff in it until later when I figure out what use it has. But let's be crafting a few things. Primarily these labs while I'm gathering that. Good. So I'm going to be taking these coils and these circuits and producing, what are these things called? Let's put it down and see.
Matrix Lab. You can use it to make super matrices or research technologies that require them to unlock. The super matrices are the source code of the center brain for maintaining the homeworld. You can upload as many super matrices to the center brain as possible. You can be benefit to unlock more actual world technologies by operating the homeworld simultaneously.
Okay. So these take the magnetic coils and the circuit boards to produce. And as you probably noticed, you can stack these buildings. And it's the same recipe as you stack it up. How high can I go with this? The height limit. Okay, so you can do 3. That's pretty cool. But now, these are going to consume quite a bit of these resources. So what I want to do here is go ahead and route over the resources that I'm going to be consuming with these structures. And it's probably a good idea to do this in a way that I'm not blocking off building spots right here that I can use for other structures. And we're going to need to power this. Then we're going to need a lot of sorters to put things into it. Now, I don't need these raw magnets in my inventory anymore. I can manually place these in here, and I'm pretty certain it will use them first. And that's another good reason to block this off. If I hadn't blocked it off and it was full, I wouldn't be able to empty my inventory of resources that I don't necessarily want to carry around all the time. Speaking of, let's drop a storage down and then place in it the logs, plant fiber, and organic crystal. Like I said, I don't really know what the uses are for those exactly yet, so I'm not going to hoard them in my inventory. Did I miss one belt? Goodness. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Let's grab a few of these items while this is going. Need to get more drones. There. Now you see the bottom one is crafting. Now the top one is crafting. Or the middle one. Then hopefully the top one starts to get components. There. Now they're all crafting. Now, see, I haven't stacked them like this, so I'm not sure how this works in relation to... I want to put this one down and I want to do research in it. Can it take out of... Can the bottom one transfer all of the materials over to this one to do the research? That's what I'm trying to think out loud about right now. Because it takes... these matrices into here in order to do research, and I do not have enough power. So we're at that point again where it's time to place down more of these wind turbines. Don't listen to what I say, watch what I do. It's a new game and I'm getting confused by all of the wonderful new things. Too close to another wind turbine. Let's go somewhere out here, and then you can't build out in the water. Like I said, you'll have to later unlock foundations. But you see that rock went away, and I didn't get any stone. So that's what I was talking about, where when you place the structure down, it deletes whatever resources were there. But this long chain of wind turbines should fix my power problem. One thing that I would like to see would be lights. I feel like being able to light up, because I get it, it's a sphere, right? It's a planet, the sun is there and we're spinning around, so it's day-night cycle. But I would like to be able to see. Alright, so if I throw 2 up there, does it just fill these up? And it sure does. So from the bottom I can transfer the resources over. That's what I was curious about. I don't even know Yeah, you can't do a transfer mid-air. There's no ports with which to connect the sorters with. They're at the bottom. But I stacked this. So I have 3 matrix labs creating the electromagnetic matrices, and then I have 3 that are ready to consume them right here. And if I can't transfer fast enough, I can always move this back a little bit and transfer in the back too, just in case there's not enough speed moving them in between each other. But I have automated the process of building the electromagnetic matrices, and now I can do research that require those very quickly. So I want to look for things that are going to help. Definitely this one right here, getting the upgraded sorter will help, but before I can even build that upgraded sorter, I have to unlock the drives. So this takes 50 of the electromagnetic matrices and 9,000 hashes, equivalent to lab 150 seconds workload. Okay. Now I have 3 labs, so that should be roughly 50 seconds, and you'll see I think it started at about 50 and it's going down, because I have 3 labs, each running all at the same time. And I don't have to use items from my inventory anymore. We have labs set up and running. And we're going to need to knock out quite a few researches. Thermal power is also really, really good to get into. So I'm going to queue that one up next, because the wind turbine farm is getting really, really large. And I think we're going to go for we're going to just queue up several things here. We've got stuff automated. I don't need that one yet. Electromagnetic drives. And I don't need either one of those yet. So let's look at the upgrades we can do for the mech that would require this. So this gives us an extra construction drone. Sounds really good. Drone speed, so they fly a little bit faster. Another really good one. And the rest of these are going to take some resources, so they're going to wait. We will do those momentarily. Alright, thermal power is unlocked. That makes me happy because I have a bunch of coal right here, and I can make good use of this coal. Now, I can fit it right in here. So if we look at power, they're pretty big, but I can fit them in and then just kind of go in a line in this direction. But I don't want to block the ore itself. So I'm trying to think of where I could place these. If I put them really far out here close to the wind turbines, I think we'll be fine. So that's probably what I'm going to do here. That was a bit of an awkward camera angle.
A thermal power station. Such power facilities need to consume chemical energy fuels. If you wanted to generate continuous and stable power, you need to ensure a sufficient fuel supply at all times.
That's the plan. So we are going to hook up the sorters. And you know what, we should probably open this up to hold a lot of coal if we can. And now this produces a lot, 2.16 megawatts, where each of these wind turbines only do 300 kilowatts. So you got what, 300, 600, 900, more than 2 of those, so 6, almost 7 times the power production in this thermal power station, but it does consume coal. Hey, this gets us a splitter, which allows us to split conveyor belts very easily, and then the upgraded sorter. But in order to get the upgraded sorter, we now have to produce a new product, and that is the electromagnetic motor, or the electric motor. And that takes iron, gears, and the magnetic coils. And I definitely want to get this automated as soon as possible. So let's take a look at where these items are. We have iron right here. Oh, I'm out of belt. Good thing I have a storage of it. Iron right here. Then we're going to grab, I think what we're going to do is just move this to, say, right here. That way I can continue with this belt that will carry the gears. And we have these already, so let's make use of a couple of them. It's very fast. I don't think I'm going to be using gears that fast, so I'm just going to leave the one for now. Now I need these magnetic coils as well. Now that I have the splitter, I can make use of that. The only issue is that crossing belts, I only know of two ways to do it, and that is move it with a sorter or take one belt and go up in the air and then the other one goes under it, because you can build the belts up above the ground at different varying heights. So I'm trying to think about where's the best place to do that, because I want to build it as close to here as possible. So let's get our facilities built. I'm going to make a few things right now. And we're just knocking out the research. Now we're bound down to the 2 drone upgrades for our mecha, which will definitely help us with building. Okay, but I also need iron for this. So I was going to try and put it back here, but I need iron as well. So what we're going to do is come down to here. And now this is going to be making our electric motors. And I'm going to be taking in gears. I need iron and I need the electric coils. So plus 1 construction drone. I'm going to place this here so that
Splitter
I can...
with 4 directions. It can split the passing cargo or balance the cargo on multiple conveyor belts. The splitting speed depends on the conveyor belt speed. Use the tab key to switch between different styles, and click it to set priorities and filters.
Fancy. So that gives us the iron plate here, and now all I need are our magnetic coils. And I think what I'm going to do for these is just transfer to a belt that I'm going to run right through here. Using a sorter. We have a faster sorter now, so I can do it like that. And it won't be awful. So that looks like it'll keep it fed because it takes a little bit of time to craft these. And now I can put these into a storage right beside this one. These take a little while to craft, so I think I can probably get away with 1 of the sorters there. And I don't want to make a whole lot of these. I'm going to do probably 6 stacks of them. That might be too much. We'll do 4. I need some of these immediately for some research for upgrading my mech, but I'm just going to stockpile some as well. My goodness, this game just looks amazing. It's quite beautiful. We've got science automated though, and we have some machines running that are stockpiling some resources for us. We've expanded. We have new power available to us, which is much better than the power we had before, with the slight exception that it is consuming coal, and the coal will eventually run out, whereas the wind turbines don't run out. So that is a slight drawback, but maybe we'll find an even better source of power than that. But I'm going to call that it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, I really would appreciate it if you hit a like button. You hit that like button down there for me right below the video. I really do appreciate that. And if you enjoy content like this, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you all next time.